Hi everyone, this is Sunny and I have a celebrity crush reading. I'm sorry if you get confused with the title. It's gonna be, I think I might word it better than when I say it, but here goes. So, if you were your celebrity's crush, what would happen, right? But in this scenario, you would also be a celebrity. So, your celebrity crush meets you and you're a celebrity, but you're their celebrity crush, right? So, I might word this better. I'm sorry. But I know what I'm trying to say, and I think you know what I'm trying to say. But if you were your celebrity's crush, right? What would happen? So I have 3 piles from left to right. I have pile 1, 2, 3. So stop the video if you feel like you need more time to contemplate on the cards, and I'll see your pile of choice or your pile of choices. So I will move the last two, and I'm gonna start with the first one. So you have the Nine of Cups upright. Your next card is the Hermit reversed. I put them so terribly. Your next card is the Five of Pentacles upright. The next one is Knight of Pentacles upright. And the last card is Ace of Wands upright. I've been doing more cards lately. I just like to mix it up every now and then with the amount of cards I put, just to keep it interesting for myself. It's always a good practice anyway for me to learn. So, okay. So here goes. See, I know what I want to say. I know what I want to say, but I get confused, like, with the question itself. If you were your celebrity's crush, if you were your celebrity crush, what would happen? I think, well, I usually end up putting your celebrity crush on the left and then you on the right, typically, so I'll leave it at that. So I would put the Nine of Cups as your celebrity crush, and you would be represented by the Ace of Wands upright. So I think, first and foremost, your celebrity crush would feel like they have everything with you. In the sense where you are they feel sufficient, they do feel self-sufficient, but they feel like you're that cherry on top. So yeah, you're their wish granted, but it does feel like they got what they wanted because they're in this realm of, how could I say, I don't think there's a specific word, but I'm just gonna say celebrity. They're in the realm of celebrity, that they could call up the agent and they could be like, hey, can you get me a date with so-and-so, which I think it could be, I feel that's the case. I feel that's the case when it comes to yours. I'm trying to see if you're the person who ends up doing this, or it's your celebrity crush, because I know it does feel like somebody seeked out the other person, but it honestly feels like your celebrity crush went out to seek you, to me, because of the direction. Look at the direction, like, this guy's pointing that way. I know it's reversed, but the Hermit's going this way, these two individuals are going that way, and the Knight is also going that way towards you. It's like you must be super interesting for this person to want to approach you. So I do feel that it's likely that your celebrity crush might have reached out to, maybe, like, if they don't do it like a public kind of display, because it is a Knight of Pentacles, I do feel it's like more stable, in the sense of, like, I'm just gonna keep this more practical and not like a grandiosity of, like, I like this person, and I'm not trying to put out like any celebrity out there that did this, because I see this all the time. I think we all see this in like the drama where it's like, I threw messages and I put my number and I like tweeted out at them. Like, no, it doesn't feel like this. It feels more private, so it feels like more like this person went up to your representative or their representative, right? Or their people, and it's like, hey, can you make this happen? I'd like a date. Because usually that's what happens typically, is how people, that's, I think, more or less how I think reasonable amounts of celebrity adults reach out to people, is that they go to their people and they ask if they want to meet, have a date, or just go for a few drinks, And then once their schedules are open, they kind of like make it work. Not necessarily that it'll work between them, but more so that's how they reach out and have a connection. They kind of go on a date like that. I guess that's how they date, more or less, but that's from what I know. So I do feel that your celebrity crush would reach out to you through theirs or your representatives and kind of meet up and see where that goes. I do feel it's something that would take their time, though. I think it is something that they kind of have to. I think they maybe watch you from afar to some extent. And they like to test, not to test too much the waters, but more or less observe you. More or less observe your behavior or how you respond, how you react. It's more so if they want to know if they mesh well with you and your lifestyle and their lifestyle. But of course, if you're your celebrity's crush, of course you're gonna do everything right to make it work. But it does feel to me like they reach out because they're ready to date. I think they're interested because they're ready. So whoever you're thinking about, your celebrity crush, I think they end up being in this kind of space where they are ready to date. They're interested in like meeting people, getting to know you, specifically you, right? I mean, maybe they're interested to date, but in this occasion, with a question, it does feel like they're ready to reach out, send a message. More like I feel like they would take you out and give you like something nice. So like they give you some roses, or they give you some small gesture like, hey, look, like I heard you like maybe like to collect these art pieces, and they get you like a piece from that artist or something. It just feels like they have a small token of appreciation or a present if they meet you, because they're not going to come in empty-handed. They want to show you all the stops. So they do want to show you that they can, not necessarily that they can provide for you, because obviously if you're a celebrity, you're more than likely going to be the person who can provide for yourself too, but more so that they want to romance you. It's like they want to romance you. They're seeking, it feels like they're also seeking asylum in love because they might have been hurt. And they're always like in this work mode with these pentacles. It just feels like cups and pentacles. They're always working. They have to be, they do what they love, but they also know that it comes at a price of like, I don't have a personal life. So they would make all the stops. They would make all the stops to make it happen. With the Ace of Wands, I do feel that they would find you very attractive, and you would stir those emotions of like, hey, those romance emotions are stirring up. Finally, I want to get to know this person. So they would definitely try to make it work with you, at least to take you out on a date and have a good time. But that's what I feel for you if you're your celebrity's crush. If any of you were a celebrity crush. I'm wording this terribly. If you were a celebrity, but you were your celebrity's crush, it does feel like they would find you very physically attractive first and foremost, sorry. And they would find you someone who's very, how can I say, you spark up those lower chakras. But I would also like to say that they see you as someone who's very driven, and they like that. It's like you're someone that knows what they want. They go for it. There's a lot of cardinal energy. You have a lot of fire within you, and they like that. It's like that's sparking you. They like that feistiness. That's what I feel. And they feel like you're someone that they can talk to, and you're just very, I wanted to say the word, but I keep wanting to say you're sparky. You're feisty, but it feels like you're cheeky. That's what it feels like. It's still wand, so it's like cheekiness. There's a cheekiness to you. But yeah, that's what I feel. That they're ready to date, especially the Hermit reverse. It's like someone that's getting out of the zone of like isolation, someone that's ready to meet people and have fun. So I took so long with this one, I'm sorry. So I will start with the next pile. Pile number 2. Let's see. Pile number 2. On the left will be your celebrity crush, on the right will be you. So like I have 5 cards and you guys will be at the opposite ends. This is 5 of Cups reverse. Wait, not 5, sorry. 6 of Cups, I'm sorry. Why did I say 5? King of Cups reversed. And then next card, I wanted to say the last card. It's not the last card. The Seven of Pentacles reversed. Oh, I should scoot these because I don't think I have space. I'm sorry, I get real quiet because I'm trying to not mess with these. I don't want them to kind of fall on the ground. Ace of Pentacles reversed. I mean, upright. Why did I say that? Sorry. I keep seeing all these reversals. I just assume all of them are reversed. And then the Sun card reversed. See, this one's reversed at least. Not that I'm like, yay. It's reversed, but you know. So pile number 2. If you were your celebrity's crush, as they are, you know, your celebrity crush, what would happen? More or less, I think this person would be very mature. Well, first off, it feels like, are they someone that you, okay, so I feel like sorry, I'm getting mixed up. I feel like they're the kind of person that even though they're on the spotlight, they're very to themselves, or like very reserved in that like isolation. It feels like, well, there's always like a distance between celebrities and you as a viewer, but they're more so that someone that keeps private. It's like they get to know how to be private in that spotlight. So they're either someone that evades paparazzi or lives in those secluded areas. You know how some people end up moving to like the middle of nowhere, like I don't know, like Montana or something. It's stuff like that, or in a place where it's gated. It's somewhere where, I mean, yes, all celebrities live like that, but more so, it's more exclusive or more so private, where they're low key, and they just keep to themselves, or there's a certain distance that they feel comfortable in, because they get to be themselves as the King of Cups in that energy, if that makes sense. But in public, there's someone that is more calculating. Not that they're not emotional, but there's someone that's more calculating, and someone who, maybe it's not that they're impatient, it's more so that they're very, I feel like they're curt. It's like, if these my words are terrible. If this needs to get done, then this will get done. I'm not gonna accept any no's, buts, whys. It's gonna happen. I need the action done. So maybe that's why people see them as someone who's kind of cold, calculating, workaholic, someone who tends to kind of keep to themselves, or someone who kind of puts those boundaries up. And it's very seen that they could be very serious and mature, someone who's very, I don't know why I keep thinking of as a turn-in energy, but that's how they come across. And you're the Sun reverse, so someone that kind of, it feels like you kind of mesh in that aspect, maybe. That you are, I think you're both introverted people. And then even if you are surrounded by people, it just feels like you guys kind of know how to, one, you dim yourself a bit, and this person kind of keeps their emotions to themselves. They're very private. It's someone that, either, if this is someone that's your like childhood crush that you still grew up liking, or someone that reminds you of your childhood because of maybe the kind of work that they do with the projects. Maybe there's someone who you, if they're like in sports, for example, and you see them since they were like, they're known but not like well known, and then suddenly they hit international stardom. You're like, oh, I still like them because they still do this. It's like you're still reminiscing of the person that they once were, or their younger years maybe, or just childhood crush, or someone who reminds you of that. And you are someone that kind of dims yourself, like, or just keeps your creativity to yourself. Your enjoyment, your free spirit is something that you kind of keep hidden or away from prying eyes, or just, you just kind of keep that more introverted to your closer unit. So it does feel like you guys both are very respectable of that heart space. This gives me more Leo energy on the right side with you, and then the other person gives me more watery. So maybe they have strong water placements in their chart, and you have more, maybe not so much fire, but because it's still like childish and carefree, but you still come out as someone mature, but it's like you keep that free spirit to yourself, like that inner child. You feed that, but on your own time, on your own terms, not for people to see, because you want to look like your age. You're someone that wants to look like you can be trustworthy and responsible, and if you show that inner light or that creativity, it feels like maybe people might mistake that for you being careless, or but you yourself make that judgment. The Ace of Pentacles upright, it does feel like maybe they reach out, they give you, it just somehow feels there's certain tones of this energy that kind of reminiscent kind of reminds me of the first pile. Maybe we're attracted to some things in there, but it feels like some tones it's the same. It feels like they would reach out, they would offer you like an opportunity to work with them. Likely it feels more like an opportunity for them to work with you or somehow get to know you, just so that they can kind of feel you out and see whether you're worthy of their cup. Because they do have, it just feels like they're earthy but watery. So it's like someone that knows how to nurture themselves, but make that go into action so that gives them revenue. They're build up those assets due to their creativity, their emotions. So maybe if they're not someone that's like athletic or something, they're someone who makes money through putting their emotions out, by being a musician, by being a lyricist, someone who's a songwriter, someone who writes, possibly someone who puts those emotions, or through characters, even if you're actors also, that they put those emotions out there, but through through like an outlet, or maybe vicariously through through their characters, right? So it does feel like that, but they would very much kind of get to know you to see whether I think this feels more like someone who would kind of test the waters, more so than the first pile. I feel like the first pile is more direct when it comes to that heart space, and this one feels more like you both are very protective. It's like you're open to the idea because you guys like each other, but it's not so much like open. It feels more like baby. If the first one was toddler steps, is it like baby steps? It's like tread with caution until finally something makes do, and you get to know the person as a person and as a whole, whether they would mesh good with who they are. So it does feel like someone, they're interested in maybe emotions, but they're kind of just more like keeping to themselves, being more self-nurturing towards their intentions, and maybe they don't really need to work as hard anymore, but they do find that, I think they found themselves in a position where they're kind of interested in talking about their emotions and finding somebody, so they take that as an opportunity to get to know you. That if that ever makes, if it goes through, it just feel like they want to make that, if you were their celebrity crush, it will feel like they would be the person to make the connection. They would reach out to you, but it does feel like they would kind of keep themselves waiting for an answer, because I don't think you wouldn't necessarily respond to them right away, because maybe there's some disbelief that they actually like you. It's like, me? Like, you're looking at me? It feels like so much like those, I've seen those videos where they single out the girl and she's reading a book in the middle of a concert, like, me? Yeah, you. So even if you were, a celebrity crush for them, it does feel like they would hold their cup to themselves pretty closely, but they would kind of get like anxious to know what you're going to say. It's like, I have this opportunity, but I really, really want to work with them, but again, I'm going to leave it up to them. So it does feel like that, but it feels more like you kind of are a little bit more reserved, and so is this person a little bit, but I think it's more so you in this connection. So I hope that helped pile number 2. I will start with pile number 3. So pile number 3, you have the 2 of Swords reversed, Queen of Cups reversed, Seven of Swords reversed, the World reversed, then, see, this is more linear than the last two piles I made. Knight of Swords upright. I was talking about the placement of the cards, by the way, since I tend to want to be like, when I have more cards, I tend to want to straighten them up a bit more. If I have less, I don't really care anymore at this point. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. On the left side, on the very corner, it's your celebrity crush. And on the very corner right side, it's you. So you would be represented by the Knight of Swords upright and your celebrity crush as the Two of Swords reversed. So pile number 3. Yeah, I was like, what pile am I on? Pile number 3. If you were your celebrity's crush as a celebrity crush, well, okay, that was worded. If you were your celebrity's crush and you were a celebrity, it feels like you're the one that would take charge. I think you're more direct than this person. It's so interesting, like just focusing on the outer cards. You're someone that would take that action. It feels more like you're direct. Like you cut to the chase. I don't need to wait. I know what I want, and I know that you like me. So I'm just going to cut to the chase, and I'm going to tell you what I want and how I want it. Like, that's just how it is. And it's interesting because this person is the Two of Swords reversed. So it's someone who I feel they would take action, but it feels more like they're standing still. Like, I guess because you find them alluring and they're pretty, they just kind of, not that they stand still or stuff, but it's like they stand still and you go up to them and they're like, yeah, sure, okay. And like, not that it's passive, but it feels more like you're the one that's going up to them because you want it and you don't have a problem telling them what you need. You have your needs met and it's going to be met. So I think you're someone that's extremely charming, really good with your words. I think you're more talkative compared to this person. There's something about you that's just, I think of strong air placements where it's like, when you think about the air placements, they're mutable, that they just are very agreeable. It's just that you can't, sometimes you find flaws in that. No, you have a hard time finding flaws because they're just so charming. They know how to give direction to conversations. Should they want to argue, they can argue, but should they want to charm, they can charm. So it feels more like you're the charming person that you just kind of like want to kind of sweeten up those words in those ears, putting honey in their ears. But yeah, you're someone that's, you're kind of not a goofball. It just gives me entertainer, and a different, not a Leo entertainer. It just gives me an entertainer of like, you keep the conversation going. I think of like a talk show host, where they're kind of, yes, they're scripted, but you know how there's a flow, and they just kind of roll with the punches. They go with whatever the person says that they're interviewing. It feels like that. So you're someone that is direct in that manner, compared to your celebrity crush. And then with your celebrity crush is more, I think they're more like wondering. They kind of maybe rely on their choices, like their choices in regards to them taking action verbally, for example, is based more on how they're feeling internally. It's like that Queen of Cups reversed. Well, I don't think I mentioned this before in the previous cards, but more so the middle cards are always my feeling, and I more or less see how they're vibing, not so much of how you guys are taking action, but I just kind of feel them and I kind of get a gist of how it would be going. With this one, I feel like they would kind of let their emotions take a hold of things. So if they really have feelings for you, they're someone that would kind of allow you to charm them, to like trap them, in the sense of like, yeah, I'll let you take me on a date. Sure, I'll let you take me out to your, I don't know what you would be doing necessarily, but I feel it's someone, I think maybe you could be in media, and maybe they could be too someone that's in the public eye because of their words and speech. So likely maybe artists that are singers, for example, or people who are musicians, or producers, things like that. So they're like, I feel you're the one that would reach out like, hey, do you want to like hear me out at the studio, or like come visit me and watch me do this, and they're like, okay, sure. Like it feels more like they're going with the flow. They're someone that can go with flow, but they're not someone that's gonna be direct about it. They're kind of introverted, a little bit more than you. You're someone that has a bit of moderation with being external and internal. So, with the Seven of Swords reversed, I feel like you guys would try to keep hidden from prying eyes. Like you would sneakily, it just feels like you guys would secretly meet, but like meet at your own judgment and like on your own time. So likely in scenarios where you would feel comfortable like being outdoor, maybe like if it's outdoors, it's not easy public access, or on each other's homes, or somewhere where you can talk and you feel comfortable, like having a glass of wine or going like having dinner and just kind of talking and getting to know each other. But it does feel like there's some work involved where you guys would kind of notice like, oh, you're working on this, and like, yeah, I'm taking a break for a few hours, and I'll get back to it later, but I just wanted to get to know you and have a good time, or I wanted to get to know you better through lunch or something. With the world reversed, I also feel maybe you guys could be from the same country or close proximity, or someone who you're someone that I think both of you keep certain things to yourselves, so you kind of test the waters first to see how much you can speak freely. But it does feel like maybe one of you is like recently you keep your spirituality maybe to yourself, or maybe this person does so too, or your philosophies, different perspectives. Maybe if there's like certain successful things and endeavors that you guys went through, it just feels like you guys keep that to yourselves, not to sound arrogant. Basically, you don't want to sound a little too much for this person, and vice versa. You don't want to scare them away because you don't want to sound egoistic or narcissistic and just make the things about yourself. It's like you guys want to really have a conversation, and you kind of want to see whether they make you feel like $1,000,000 basically. And I think this person does too. I think this person's more so whether you can be honest about your intentions, being honest about what you want from this connection and how they are. But it does feel like you guys would secretly kind of, I think you would agree about being secretive, where it's like not everybody needs to know your business. I think you guys are very forthcoming about that. It just feels like there's a lot of conversations with this one. So much sword. So much sword energy. So maybe you guys have strong air signs. Both of you could be. Or you have many talents. Both of you could be very talented people and have a diversity of skill sets that are interesting, that have you guys talking, because you guys are a little bit of everything. It's like you're the jack of all trades, James of all trades. So it's interesting for them. It's like, oh, you know a little bit of everything. Oh, you know about this? Me too. It's like, oh, I did this too. Oh, that's so cool. It's like, oh, I know these people too. It just feels like you guys kind of make connections because you guys can relate to each other in that aspect. And that's what keeps you guys talking, that connection of building up that you guys are stimulatingly intellectual to each other. I said that poorly. You guys intellectually stimulate each other because you guys know how to continuously talk. Not annoying and over each other, but more so because you guys have so much knowledge. It's like you guys want to sponge the information the other person has. It's like you guys are sponges. So it does feel like that. You connect in that aspect. So it's interesting. I think you guys are kind of homebodies. Interesting. But yeah, I think this person takes action, but you can't really tell. It's like they're kind of someone that you wouldn't see them be like this. They don't give off that demeanor. They're very different from the public eye, from what they are in real life. So it's interesting to know. But yeah, you're the person that takes charge and takes that confession up to them. It's like, hey, I know you like me. I've seen you. You've like watched me from afar, so I know you're giving me the eyes. Let's hang out. Let's go out or something. But yeah, I think this person would accept, but they might take their time. It does feel like they're the kind of person who are very cautious. They tread with caution, so they would accept, but they would take their time, and you would keep wondering whether they're interested or not. But they are. It's just that they're kind of wondering whether it's the right course of action, because they're kind of in their head a lot sometimes too. So that's what I feel for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I took longer than I would have wanted, but it's fine. It's interesting. I got nosy. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. Thank you so much for listening, and have a wonderful day, everybody, and bye-bye.